Hey, folks, make no mistake about it. I know I sound like a broken record when I say this, but Jesus is coming soon. Now, earlier today, you saw a video where I was talking about what's going on the Ukrainian border with Poland. We talked about Belarus. We talked about Russia and what's going on with the European Union. But boy, oh boy, is this one crazy. Let me oversimplify what's going on. But basically, the European Commissioner, Viva Johansson, basically wants to continue to further and build sanctions against Belarus for several different reasons. We don't have the time to actually get into it. And Belarus is basically saying, listen, if the European Union wants to actually do this, well then, why don't I just cut off gas to them? Now, of course, those are war-making words practically, because the European Union has had the worst crisis they have had in probably a decade related to natural gas. And as a matter of fact, if they prove to have a very cold winter, which they very will likely have one, folks, they'll run out of natural gas at the rate they're going by March. So the folks in the European Union are beginning to freak out because a person like Alexander Lukashenko, who basically says he's going to cut off gas. Now, how can he do that? Well, he controls the pipeline that goes through his country. So, of course, he's going to cut off gas. And in doing so, he is going to open up the markets for purchase by the Asian markets from Russia. Russia won't object to it, and Russia will continue to make promises to the European Union to give them to give them gas, while Lukashenko is basically saying, no, I'm not going to do it. And guess what? Russia and Belarus are going to be working together in making sure that happens. Now, why is that all such a big deal? It's a big deal because it continues to strengthen the position of Russia, especially with what they're doing on the border, looking at eastern Ukraine. That's a whole other ball of wax. I think they're going to eventually attack the Ukraine, but I think it's going to be a deterrence mechanism, just like China attacking Taiwan. And we've talked about this on many occasions, but we'll just leave it to be. But why is this such a big deal? Because the EU recognizes how significant of an issue this is, and they are beginning to think in terms of relinquishing power of their individual nations to be able to work collaboratively in order to be able to survive such a threat. Now, what does that mean? I don't completely know. I don't know exactly what they're planning on doing, and I have no idea exactly how they plan on forming anything, but I'd be willing to bet it'll probably end at 10 nations. I'm willing to bet that there will be such a level of crisis that will be created that it will not just simply start at the EU, but it will extend into the Middle East and potentially into the unilateral actions of Russia, which then may create the kind of condition that we are looking at in the book of Revelation, where we have a 10-nation revived Roman Empire that begins to come together, and they relinquish their power in allowing one man to control everything, who in Revelation 13 will set himself in the temple and demand to be worshiped. And thus the start of Jacob's trouble, the last 3.5 years of the tribulation. Folks, I bet you we're moving in that direction. It would seem we're moving in that direction. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Jesus is coming soon. Open up your eyes, you guys. Things are getting crazy. We know our Lord returns. It's time to fight like we've never fought before for righteousness. Every legal remedy available to us. Stand for the gospel. Stand for Jesus. Stand for biblical values. Because we're running out of time. God bless you guys.